How we doing?
All right, how about you?
See.
So can you take us through the process of when you started talking about this and you guys finally decided that you were going to take this over?
You know, I've been a coach for 8 years in this offensive system, and you know, we've grown every year. And I think the big thing about what we do, maybe a little unique, is it's never been one guy just kind of game plans, and scripts, and calls the plays. We've always done it as a group. We've game planned as a group. We've scripted as a group, and even to be honest, if you were on our headsets, there was a lot of people making calls during the game. So it was maybe more of a natural progression, just with my experience with the offense and the confidence coach has in me, and the great staff that we have.
How have you seen the offense grow during these 8 years? Because Larry's obviously had to see what things work and kind of smooth things out over time.
Well, you constantly every year try to tweak or find some wrinkles to better yourself, and so some of the things we do now we weren't doing 8 years ago, but we felt like that would make us better, have us a chance to improve. So it's grown in that aspect, and whether it be some wrinkles in the run game, the passing game, play action, different things. So really, that's kind of what I mean in that aspect.
So you're talking about a collaborative effort, but you're going to be the guy that's sort of leading off, calling the plays then.
Well, I think
in theory,
but the big thing is calling the plays is really a smaller amount of what this truly is because it's about preparation. It's about the game plan you put together. It's the scheme you put together. It's getting to the game. Because once you get to the game, 90% of it's already on a game plan sheet for us. This is situations, this is the play call. Now there's some times that you have a knack to make a call, hey, I want to take a shot here, do this or that, but really the most important thing is the plan we put together and the preparation for the guys.
You've been on the sideline. Do you have any idea if you're going to try to stay on the sideline, or
we're still some details we haven't even really worked through. I would think I would. I still want to be down there with the offensive line. So we got Coach Heck to go up in the box, and he does a tremendous job. So that's probably generally what we're thinking.
Did you express interest in the position, or did Fedora approach you?
A little both. Coach talked to me and said what we want to do, and I said, I felt like it was something that I definitely felt like I could handle and try to help this offense move forward. So, but it's ultimately it was his decision.
Ultimately, you would have to have another OL coach of sorts down there if you were to go to the booth, because there's so many adjustments that are made in the game on the offensive line. Is that right? So is that why the main reason why you'll stay on the sideline at least?
Probably. That's a huge part of the game, is making adjustments on game day with those 5 guys. So if you're going to go up, you got to have somebody down there that you really trust that can do that. So it would be hard for me to leave those guys unless we felt like we were in a position to do that.
Having that kind of intimate knowledge about what's going on the OL, how much does that actually help you as the coordinator, especially when you have more input on what you guys are calling?
Oh, I think it's huge, and it's always been that way. What can the offensive line do and what can the quarterback do has always been a huge part of what we do. So I think there's definitely a big carryover there.
Didn't you carry the title run game coordinator before?
Yes, I have been run game coordinator. I was co-offensive coordinator this year. So, yeah, we've had both those titles.
Well, usually guys that are offensive line coaches, I guess the stereotype would be they want to run the ball.
Yeah.
And if you're, do you think you're going to be a little bit more run heavy than it has been? Would that be an adjustment, you think? I mean, it's the same offense, but your tendencies might be a little bit more that you lean that way, you think?
We're going to do exactly what we need to do to move the ball is my answer. I called plays for 3 years at Alabama State University, and if you went back and looked at our stats, we threw the ball more than we ran it. And we had very good run game and very good running backs. I had a quarterback that was a second-round draft pick, Tavares Jackson. So I'm a big proponent of throwing the ball. It all works hand in hand. If we can throw the ball with success, it's a lot easier to run the ball, and vice versa. So I'm not one of those old school line coaches that, hey, I just want to hammer it in there and see. I'm all about what we do, spreading it out, mixing up, being able to throw on first down, take shots when we can. I'm all about that.
With you talking about the collaboration aspect, is this a situation where maybe you're calling the plays, and if sometime it's needed, Larry could call a play or Keith could call a play?
Oh, yeah. Keith Heggendorf is a huge part of this. He's a huge part of this, and it's definitely, and it was that way this year, to be honest. There was nothing against Seth. Seth did a tremendous job for us, but there was, we script a lot of the plays we're going to call in between series. Hey, Kap, what runs do we want to call this series? Let's run this. What checks we're looking for. Let's check this. Okay, so we make the check. during the play, all right, Seth, call this. So third downs, Heck might be saying, hey, Seth, let's run this. I feel comfortable with Marquis. So Coach Fedora at any time, he'll interject what he feels like we should do. So it's always been kind of collaborative. So I guess that's why, even in the bowl game, how a smooth transition we had. We missed Seth, obviously, but the coach Hagendorf and I and the offensive staff just kind of carried on, and it was a fairly smooth transition.
Coach Fedora said he thought he'd be a little bit more involved. How do you think that'll work out?
I think that he's always involved. He's been involved since day one in the game planning, and on game day, he's the head coach, so he ultimately can veto any call and say, hey, I want to do this here. So it's not really any different. I think it's like anything else. If he feels good about the way things are managed and how the game's flowing, I think he lets it go. And I think if he feels like he has to step in, then he would.